people contact me and they say, hey, I kind of do OMAD anyway because I get stressed at work and I don't eat for a while. I don't eat for a day or two. Well, that's kind of an exposure to OMAD, but it's not the same. And let me tell you why. And you need to know this. It's not the same because what you're doing then is you're shock eating. And shock eating means you're throwing your body off its normal rhythm into an exception pattern. And it's having to compensate by keeping you in stasis. So let's say I'm used to eating once a day. Let's say I go 3 days without eating. Well, that's a fast. But let's say I go a week. I'm used to fasting 3 days a week sometimes. What if I go 5? Okay, the body is shocked. So you can expect no weight loss. That's the truth, and that's what people forget. Anytime you shock eat, your body's not going to lose weight from that. It might seem like it. You might feel like you lose water weight, and you will, but you're not going to lose fat because your body is shocked. It doesn't know what you're doing. Just like a computer operates on your cache to load a page faster, it has a prior record of you accessing a given web page. It's the same thing with your body, your activities. Your central nervous system operates and thrives on your ability to set patterns that are productive. So that's why some of you who are struggling getting started with OMAD, it's because you don't set patterns well. You're the type of person who goes a couple days, eating once maybe, and then the third or fourth or fifth day you splurge. And then you start over and you say, well, I kind of got it. No, you kind of don't, because if you're not maintaining weight, that's not going to help you. You won't gain weight. You can do OMAD, and then on the third day splurge, and OMAD, and the third day splurge. That's fine. You'll maintain weight, but you won't start losing weight, really, because you're not in a sustained deficit. And the more you eat on your splurge day, if you're eating in all the junk carbs and super high calorie dense foods, you're going to overcome those 2 days worth of calorie restriction fairly easily if you can eat a lot, or if you have a very, very slow metabolism. So please stop thinking that you're not setting a good pattern. Consistency is your problem. One splurge day every week for an optimal metabolism is good. One splurge day every 2 weeks for someone with an average or less metabolism is good. But if you're starting to do it, the thing with splurge days is people start doing them back to back, or they get close to back to back. So they go out of their way and they start splurging more often, but they don't keep track of it. So time goes by, and maybe it's only been 3 weeks. They did good the first week, but then they got off for whatever the reason, and they said, I'll make up for it. The problem when you do that is you're going to set another pattern. I used to, when I was a big guy, I had my left foot rebuilt, and I was out of work for a long time. I was laying around the house. Man, I was depressed. I was depressed because my central nervous system was saying, hey, why aren't we working? Why can't we get in the groove and be productive like we normally are? But I was feeling too bad. And so what I started to do was go to take a nap in the afternoon. You know how long it took to set a pattern for just taking a nap in the afternoon? Like 2 days, 3 days. And I was already establishing a pattern of sleeping between 2 to 4 p.m. So every day I would want to sleep 2.5 hours and then get up, slowly get productive and through the evening, stay up late, and then my hours were all to pieces. My blood pressure was through the roof. All of my body vitals were starting to go bad because I didn't have that reliance on my synapses for obligation versus work versus play, reward and punishment. I didn't have that balance. So it was extremely difficult to function. And when I finally went back to work, it was so hard because I had to reintroduce structure. I had to reintroduce control. If on your OMAD plan you are setting a pattern, then you are following the pattern and you're letting the pattern do the work for you. You are the story you tell. You are the priorities you set. The things that you value as true or false, or the things that you value as legit versus non-legit, those values are who you are. So if you continually make excuses, if you go out and you don't recognize your patterns, you're going to do crazy things like this. You're going to go to the store, number one, and you're going to eat when you're going to go shop when you're hungry. Bad idea. Bad idea. You should never, ever, ever shop when you're hungry. It's one of the best things of dietary wisdom to not do that. But then once you do that, you go out and you shop when you're hungry. You bring home crap that you absolutely don't need and it only makes you, it acts as a trigger to make you eat worse. But then after that, what do? You keep those foods around. They end up on the shelf and you say, well, I bought ho-hos, I bought ding-dongs, I bought bags of Werther's candies, and they're just sitting around and now I've got to eat them. because I don't want them to go to waste. And you employ the second fallacy of scarcity eating, where you're afraid to get rid of food because you bought it. Nobody can throw it away. You have to keep it. You can't let food go to waste. I've talked about that before. That's part of the scarcity mindset, the poverty mindset. Get rid of that. So you see, one addiction leads to another. One bad choice leads to another. One self-destructive pattern opens up 2 or 3. 80% of your problems come from 20% of the 20% of the faults of that problem. So in other words, 1 or 2 things that may be wrong with you are causing the rest of your problem. Look for the simplest solutions. Look for the problems that are easily correctable. Usually it's 1 or 2 things. If you will set a pattern and you will stick with it, you will have results. If you eat at the same time every day, you'll be hungry at the same time. And here's the thing, you can stretch this further. You can have the same sorts of meal. You can even have the very same meal day after day, and that will give you extra energy and extra strength to continue your progress. What you put in is what you get out. If you want to have the best business, you don't have to mess around, man. Just look at what are you doing today? What did you do today for your business? Those of you who want to be entrepreneurs or want to be preneurs right now. What did you do today? Minus go into the bathroom, minus go into the shower and eating and all the maintenance stuff that goes into life. What did you do to achieve your life's goal? You say, well, you spent an hour maybe making calls or doing whatever it is you want to do. Well, that's what you're going to be doing 5 years from now. As much as you put in is as much as you get out. When you set a goal, there should be a peace that comes over you that says, I'm going to do this. And if you don't have that in the back of your mind, you need to ask yourself why you're conflicted. So get back to the basics. Get back to the fundamentals. Go back to your core value. What are you doing? What kind of a pattern are you setting for your life?